There are quite a few fusion or unification methods in the Dragon Ball franchise. Today, I'd like to focus on the two main types, that being the fusion dance and Potara. Before we begin, let's get the obvious out the way. Both the fusion dance and Potara fusion procedures are ways for two people to merge into a new fused entity, as the unification leads to a net increase in power. Anyways, without further ado, let's begin. Let's start things off with fusion, or the fusion dance technique. This technique was introduced in the Majin Buu saga by Goku, who learned this technique while he was dead in Otherworld. The move was invented by the Metal Morans. We know very little about this race of people. According to their wiki, their home planet is called Metamor. The technique works when two individuals with equal battle power conduct a series of gestures in perfect symmetry, ending with a symmetrical pose parallel to each other. Akira Toriyama stated in a Q&A in Dragon Ball Full Color Majin Buu Arc Volume 4, 4th of July 2014, link in description for translations. He stated that, "I think it's possible to merge no matter the conditions, as long as it goes well." Anyways, if the aforementioned sequence is done flawlessly, both individuals will combine into a completely new entity for 30 minutes max. The new entity will have completely different clothes than the two people who fused. The new clothes are the same regardless who fuses and what each person adorns. As for the general appearance, it's a combination of each individual's features. The most obvious example would be when Goten and Trunks fuse into Gotenks. You can see Trunks' hair color as the highlight. Both the individuals' voices speak at the same time in sync, laid over each other. Now, this technique is not only a visual change, both the characteristics and mannerisms are amalgamated, as well as being able to use techniques they could use unfused. They can also use combination and completely brand new techniques. Now, the exact maths on how much stronger they are fused than individuals is not concrete. Some people think it's person A times person B, some people think it's addition, then multiplication, then some people think it's a static times multiplier. What is known is that both Potara and fusion result in a fused entity having the exact same power as one another. So one technique doesn't give more power than the other. So for example, if person A and B both have a power of 50 each and they use the fusion dance, the fused fighter will have a power level of 2500. If they use Potara, the power level will also be 2500. Also, like I said a minute ago, the maths I'm using is just an example. It's figurative and not canonical. One of the drawbacks of this move is the maximum time limit, which is 30 minutes. If the fused fighter is using a lot of power, is especially strong, or using transformations that are power hungry, this will significantly diminish the duration time fuse, as seen with Gotenks and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. The other drawback being, if the technique is not performed flawlessly, this will influence the results of the fusion, as seen with skinny and fat Gotenks and Gogeta, then waiting 30 minutes to defuse, as they cannot defuse at will. Well, other than wasting energy I guess, or using that technique a certain someone learns in later Dragon Ball Super chapters. I won't elaborate more as that would be spoilers. Then as defused individuals having to wait 1 hour before they can try again. Now let's go over the other merging method, Potara. Potara, or Potara earrings, are a set of magical divine artifacts created by the Kais, specifically the Supreme Kais. They do have a few properties to them, but we're going to focus on the merging aspect of them. Now, before we go any further, the Potara have been retconned since its first appearance in Dragon Ball Z. People argue if it is a retcon, saying that it was vaguely explained in Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super properly explained it. I think it has been, but retcon or not, it doesn't matter. I will explain both situations and leave the verdict to you. To perform the Potara fusion, two individuals have to wear a single earring on the opposite ear. So, person A could wear one earring on their left ear and person B could wear it on their right ear. It doesn't matter who wears what, the only requirement is that it has to be on the opposite of the other individual. The moment both people put their earrings on, they'll be dragged together by an invisible force until they collide into each other. After this, the merging has been complete. Unlike with fusion, the uniform the fused entity wears isn't the same for everyone. This method actually fuses the clothes together as well. In Dragon Ball Z, we were led to believe that this fusion was supposed to be permanent. The reason for Vegito diffuses in Dragon Ball Z was down to the special gas inside Buu's stomach. or something along those lines. Then, in Dragon Ball Super, it is stated that the fusion is only permanent if a Supreme Kai is involved. If there isn't, the fusion only lasts for 1 hour. Also, like the fusion dance, energy draining transformations, or if the fused being is especially powerful, that will decrease the total time fused. This is seen in Dragon Ball Super, where Vegito diffuses before 40 minutes have passed. Another bonus for the Potara method, both users aren't required to equalize their power before merging. If one of the individuals is in a transformed state before they fuse, after the merger, they will not be able to revert back to their untransformed states, while they're merged anyway. Now, you're probably wondering, what fusion technique is better or stronger? After some research online, there are 2 sources that say different things. In the Dragon Ball Daizenshuu 7 encyclopedia, under the item dictionary section, here is an excerpt. Furthermore, after merging, the power is greater than with fusion. This would signify that Potara is superior in terms of power. Now, in an edition of Weekly Jump, there is a special promo piece for the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. To sum things up, basically says that Vegito and Gogeta are equal, stating neither inferior to the other. After reading a post from a French Dragon Ball news website, it states that this message does not come from the mouth of Akira Toriyama, but from the editor of the magazine. So now you can see the tricky part of answering this question. I'm going to say that they're probably equal in regards to power. The reason why I think that is that I don't think they want to delegitimize one and put the other on a pedestal, so that they're both equal and both valid. Probably not the best reasoning, but I need to conclude on this point. Now, with the rest, you could argue that Potara is better, as 1, there is a longer max time fused. 2, anyone can fuse with anyone, regardless of circumstance. 3, you can't mess up the Potara fusion. You just put the ear in on the right corresponding ear and boom, you're fused. It's implied by Beerus that the affinity of the 2 people are a factor. He then says that androids 17 and 18 should be perfectly compatible with each other because they're twins. And that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, check out some of my other Dragon Ball videos if you want. And as always, until next time.